Have you ever heard of René Descartes? You probably know him for his famous line, "I think, therefore I am." But did you know he had a truly bizarre, yet fascinating, theory about how our bodies work? Forget biology as we know it today. For Descartes, the human body wasn't just a machine. It was a hydraulic, water-powered machine. Where did he get such a wild idea? Believe it or not, from a garden. Specifically, the royal gardens of Saint-Germain-en-Laye in France. Back in the 17th century, these gardens were like a theme park, filled with incredible statues that moved, played music, and even seemed to speak, all powered by water pressure. Seeing these hydraulic automatons, Descartes had a light bulb moment. He thought, what if our bodies worked the same way? He proposed that our nerves were hollow tubes, and flowing through these tubes wasn't blood or electrical signals, but something he called animal spirits. He described these spirits as a very fine fluid, almost like a subtle wind or a pure flame. These spirits would flow from the brain, through the nerves, and into the muscles, causing them to inflate and move, just like the water-powered statues in the garden. It's a bit like a sophisticated plumbing system controlling our every action. So, who was in charge of this whole operation? Where was the control room? According to Descartes, the command center of the entire body was a tiny, pea-sized structure in the center of the brain, the pineal gland. Why this specific gland? His reasoning was surprisingly simple. While observing the brain, he noticed that most structures came in pairs, one for each hemisphere, but the pineal gland was unique. It was singular, right in the middle. To him, this meant it had to be the special place where the non-physical soul connected with the physical body. He imagined the soul acting like a tiny lever operator, tilting the pineal gland this way and that. This tilting would redirect the flow of animal spirits into different nerve tubes, much like a switchboard operator directing calls. Want to raise your arm? The soul tilts the gland, sends the spirits down the right tubes, inflates your arm muscles, and voila, your arm goes up. It's a beautifully mechanical, if completely wrong, explanation for how thought translates into action. Of course, we now know that nerves are not hollow tubes, and there are no animal spirits flowing through us. But here's the kicker. Even though his biology was off, Descartes was onto something huge. He accurately described what we now call the reflex arc. He explained how, if you touch fire, your foot pulls back automatically, even before your brain consciously registers the pain. He saw it as a purely mechanical process to fires. Heat triggers the spirit's flow, causing the muscle to contract, all without the soul's direct involvement. This mechanical view of the body, treating it like a complex piece of engineering, was revolutionary. By suggesting that the brain processes physical inputs to create physical outputs, Descartes, without even knowing it, laid the philosophical groundwork for something we talk about all the time today. Artificial intelligence. If the brain is just a very complex machine, then theoretically, we could build one. So, next time you see an advanced robot, or talk to a smarthead, remember the weird and wonderful hydraulic theory of a 17th century philosopher staring at garden statues. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this dive into the history of ideas, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more. See you in the next video.